What's up, guys? So today we're going to talk about my blood work, and we're going to make it as simple and as easy to understand as possible, because there's nothing simple or easy to understand about blood work. Basically this, I never thought I'd have my blood work pulled. I never thought there was a good reason to, until I was doing some at-home research about low-carb dieting and you know, just things that I'm passionate about. And I ran across a gentleman named Stan Efferding, who is the inventor of the vertical diet, and also a local athlete, or at least he was local here in my area and known to gym here for a number of years. So I was just kind of drawn to him. I watched this video, and after watching his video on having your blood work pulled, I was like, that makes a lot of sense. Super inspired. Basically this, we supplement ourselves with a bunch of different things, and we have no idea why. We just do it to feel good. And what we really should know is what we're deficient in, so we have an idea what to supplement with, so we can run more optimal. You might be giving yourself too much iron or too much magnesium or too much of this or not enough of that, and you really have no idea what you're deficient in unless you have your blood work pulled. So it's an overwhelming subject. There's a million different ways. There are a million different things that they can test your blood work with. So I just went with his recommendation. It was through private labs. It wasn't cheap. It was $350, and it was for elderly or older guys. I'm over 40, males, athletic, and it just was a whole litany of tests. It was my thyroid, my lipid. Here, let me look at this real fast. All kinds of crazy metabolic panel, my testosterone, added vitamin D to it. Very thorough test to give a good idea, baseline, where my health was and what my blood looked like and what I might be deficient in. So when I did this, I don't know what I was thinking, right? I was kind of out on a whim, but I had no idea. I had no idea what to expect, basically. And I did it, and these are the things that are red flags that came up for me. Apparently, and for those of you who are normal watchers of the channel, you know that I'm a low-carb dieter, that I'm keto-based, paleo-based, extremely low-carb. I'm basically fat-filled. I don't like to put a label on it, even though we do on a lot of our videos, but basically I just eat super clean, but with a tendency for more fats. So the first thing is, Sean, how did your lipid panels show up? I knew your cholesterol was going to be all checked up. Well, here's the truth. On this test, my cholesterol is a little jacked, but there's a story behind it. I just got done with 3 years of bodybuilding shows, and for the last 3 weeks since my last show, I have hit the trigger every day. I've barbecued ribs, steak, prime rib, ribeye, hamburgers. I've basically had red meat and fat off the trigger almost every single day, if not twice a day. So with that being said, they're not the best, but they're not horrible. So my HDL is at 32, for those who taking notes, and my LDL is at 138. Can definitely improve on those numbers, and I will, just by cleaning up my diet. I've already gained, like 24 pounds since my show. So that's kind of a norm, so people are going to want to know that who watch the show. But things that came up that were red flags, my vitamin D, right? And I'm gonna do a complete separate video on my supplementation plan for vitamin D, was rock bottom and low. 18.7. According to this test, they want it to be 30 to 100. So our vitamin D was very low. Might explain some issues that I've been having that I'll go over with in the vitamin D video. But one thing that I was pretty much blindsided by was the fact that my testosterone was extremely low. So, and this might explain why I've been competing for 3 years. I've been on a very strict diet, and my stage weight hasn't changed at all. You know, I would like to think that as a natural athlete, that I would put on a pound or two of quality muscle every year, and I virtually put on zilch, nothing, nil. My testosterone levels are 206. So 206, depending on who you talk to, they're going to want to see your test levels anywhere between like 250 to 1,000 or 250 to 800. It just depends on the country, I guess, or state or doctor you're talking to. But regardless, 206 at my age, the way I eat, it's super low. So that's not okay. And it's one of those things that like really bothers me. My testosterone is low. And all my friends from the gym are like, yeah, bro, you get to go on TRT. Oh, great. You get testosterone replacement therapy and you're going to be so jacked. And, you know, I've really prided myself at being a natural athlete. So I'm going to get a second opinion on these. I'm by no means going to go old gracefully, right? And I'm by no means going to put exogenous substance in my body without really fully researching it. But I had no idea that my test levels were so low to start with, or after this test. And actually, it makes me emotional. It makes me mad. I don't know why. I don't know. It's just one of those things. But those are the things that came up. Let me make sure nothing else was out of whack here. So they give you this big printout, and there's highs and lows, and I will go into more detail and actually print off and show in the video, the next video I produce on this, my results, because this was mail ordered. I literally went online, ordered this test, went to the labs, had my blood pulled, and it came back with some results that I'm not necessarily happy with. And to be honest, I'm not a professional at this. I can't look at all these names of, I mean, there's just so many words on these tests that I can't even pronounce. Because I'm just an average bro Joe. And, but I do know testosterone, we don't want that low. I do know vitamin D, we don't want that low. And I do know a little bit about my cholesterol and lipid levels and where I need to fix those. So I'm going to do that. But with that being said, like I said, it was mail order, and it's not that I don't trust the labs that Stan Efferding had me go to. I need a second opinion, especially if it means that my testosterone is low and I might need to supplement with it. Maybe I won't. I'm not sure. So anyways, I'm going to a local place here in town called P3. It's a performance institute, and basically this is what they do. It's not a men's clinic. There's women and guys that go there, and it's basically on longevity. There's like, I already had my first meeting. They've already pulled my blood. I had my second meeting with them where I went and I talked to like a nutritionalist. Me and Susie went in, and wow. So I eat super healthy food. So the nutritionalist was like a little bit of help to me, but not typical, help. She was excited to finally have somebody that ate extremely clean. For the most part, I eat all whole foods, super clean, no chemicals, no crazy things going on my diet. So I think the nutritionalist was kind of geared up to talk about that. One thing that I did get hit on real hard was my caffeine intake. And so Susie's been beating me up about my caffeine for a long time. Don't judge. This is a judgment-free zone. My caffeine's 700 to 1,000 milligrams a day. I don't care what you think, right? I love my caffeine, but apparently it's too high. And also because I love my wife, and also because we were there in front of a professional, a dietitian or whatnot, I've agreed to cut my levels back to below 500 by the time I see him again in the next 3 months, the nutritionalist. And so that's the plan with my caffeine. One thing I'm thinking, right, out loud and with you guys, is that the reason why my caffeine levels are so high is that I've been supplementing caffeine to make up for my low T, because I am tired. If you look at a lot of the symptoms of low T, I have that when I'm not flying high in a bunch of caffeine all day. So who knows? But here's the thing. I have had my blood pulled through this P3 athletics, and I'm going to go in and they're going to pull genetic testing on me. They're going to pull all the same panels to make sure that they line up. I'm going to assume that they will, but I just want a second opinion because I'm not willing to take that low T number just for granted. And then with that video, when I get those results back, I'm going to go over all of the information that she went over with me, with you guys, because I'm new to this whole blood work. But overall, I feel really blessed that I was able to possibly catch some problems before they got any worse. So that's that. So that's why I did it. That's why I pulled my blood. These are the options I'm looking at, and kind of my plan of attack. I'm definitely getting a second opinion. I don't want to go to like a men's clinic, and I don't want to go to a doctor. I wanted somebody kind of in between. So this P3 has like a naturalist there, I know that I think there's a doctor or somebody there, and there's also a dietitian. So they kind of work in conjunction to help you out to find a way for you to run optimal. And so if testosterone therapy, which everybody I talk to seems to think that that's the direction I'm going to be headed, that's the right choice for me. I just want to make sure that it's right. And I just wanted to make a video on this because I think it's eye-opening. Because if you just look at me from the outside looking, just look at me, right? I don't seem unhealthy, right? And I don't feel that I'm necessarily unhealthy because these test results came like this. But you don't know until you pull the blood. And that's the whole thing. I kept hearing Stan Efferding talk about it. You don't know what you're deficient in until you pull your blood. And here's another sidetrack subject. I didn't realize before I had my back surgery how bad my back actually hurt before I broke my back. Seriously. Like, I broke my back, I couldn't walk, right? But before I broke my back, I was in a lot of pain and I was guarded. And that just became white noise and norm to me. And after I had my last fusion, I was blessed. I could walk. I'm no longer guarded. I realized how well and good life can be now that my back has been fused and I'm not guarded all the time. So, to put it in perspective with this blood work, maybe my life can be that much better if I fix my lipid panel, if I fix my testosterone levels, and if I fix, what?
I need something in there.
Okay, come on, honey. And if I fix my vitamin D numbers. Hey guys, look at this. Come here, son. Because in the end, I did this for my kids, I did this for my wife, and I did this to run the most optimal. Because as you get older, right, you just want to live as long and as healthy as possible. When you're in your like 20s, you want to be big, buff, strong, whatever it is. At least I did, right? Now I still want to be big and buff and strong, but I want to be extremely healthy. I don't want to just look healthy from the outside. I actually physically want to be healthy on the inside. So if you have any questions or comments or any ideas, put those down below and look for the next video. It'll probably be coming out in about 10 days. I'm going to go meet with P3 and go over all the numbers. And then I'll get into the nitty gritty of everything they feed me back because I have really no idea. So thank you guys for watching. I'll jump on here. Say bye.